I gotta remember this. First and foremost, I just want to say welcome Sonya Hickman, one of the top realtors out of 320 realtors in our organization. She is literally top five, guys. They bounce around, so I'm gonna just say top five, but that's a big deal. Y'all write big deal in the chat box. And she has earned her credentials as the foreclosure specialist realtor. And so she's gonna teach us and teach you guys what she's been doing and exactly how she has been doing it. Sonya, can you hear me?
Of course I can, and thank you for that amazing introduction. Guys, I'm so excited to be here to help you guys and just show you what I've been working on. I just kind of like fell into this and I've just been learning along the ways, and I'm excited to share what I've learned with you. I did drop 2 links in the chat earlier, and hopefully you were able to open those links up because it'll be a little bit of interactive and you may kind of want to jump in there and follow along. I know Molly said that she already had it and she's been working on it already. So kudos to Molly because she has a meeting tomorrow actually with a foreclosure to list it. And that's a lot of what I do as well. All righty. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
We do.
And you see the foreclosure to crisis? Because I'm seeing something else.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So welcome again, as I said, and I'm just going to start here. Again, thank you, Claudienne and Jeff, for putting this together for me so that I can show everyone what I'm doing out here. Foreclosure, this is kind of like the blueprint that I've created. And let's get going here. So what is a foreclosure? And these are just some basic terms that I'll start with. The foreclosure is taking action of a mortgage property when the mortgagor fails to keep up their mortgage payments. Basically, you miss payments on your mortgage that the bank has given you, and you start missing payments, and that starts the foreclosure process. What is an REO? You probably see that on your MLS, whatever area that you're located in, you'll see REO as an option. REO is real estate owned, and that is basically property that is owned by the lender. Property that has gone into the foreclosure process and it didn't sell at the auction. If the foreclosed home doesn't sell, the ownership defaults back to the bank. Now, this is interesting, and I put this in here because I learned about this in a couple different places. So judicial versus non-judicial foreclosure. Georgia is a non-judicial state, which means they can foreclose on you pretty quickly. They don't have to go to the court system. The mortgage company can foreclose on your home without filing a suit or appearing in a court before a judge. Now, here in Florida, we are a judicial state. I know that we have people on the line that may be in different states, so you can look up and see if your state is judicial or non-judicial foreclosure state, and that's very important to know that information. And I put these two right next to each other because I know that we have a lot of people in the Georgia area and we have people in the Florida area, and it was just easy to do the non-judicial and the judicial. The mortgage company is required to get approval from the court before they can proceed with the foreclosure process. The foreclosure process generally takes from 180 to 200 days to complete. This all depends on the court schedule. I've been seeing it take a year, a little bit more. Depends on what type of tactics are being used in Florida. It can go 2 years, 3 years. That's why in Florida, it takes a longer time, but in Georgia, you can almost be out of your house in 3 to 4 months. So here's a quick glimpse of the Georgia foreclosure process. A notice of default is issued from the lender 60 days after you default. Notice of foreclosure, the lender sends notice of foreclosure 30 days before actually foreclosing. Then you get a notice of sale. The lender publishes your property in the newspaper. Then you get a foreclosure sale. That's the auction, and that's held at the courthouse. Then we have the process for Florida, which is a little bit longer and a little bit more detailed. The borrow misses a payment, generally 120 days past due before officially starting the foreclosure process. And the notice of the default is issued. This the dispute the debtor has the right to dispute the validity of the debt. Sorry, I'm a little tongue tied here today. And then you also have an opportunity to cure the default. If you decide not to do any of those things, the filing of the less pendants, summons, and complaint usually happens about 10 to 20 days later. The debtor, which is the homeowner, answers the complaint, which is the less pendants, and this must be done in 20 days. Then you'll have a preliminary hearing. Present your case to the judge, and the judge will make a decision. If you do not answer within 20 days, the judge will look at you. So it's always, always important to answer. Motion for summary judgment can take up to 45 days. The lender presents his case against you. And then the foreclosure sale date, the judge will set a foreclosure sale date, which is usually about 30 to 40 days after the entry of the judgment. Now, there's some options to foreclosure. First thing I like to say is don't ignore the problem. Answer your phone, answer the, respond to the emails, open your mail, because the problem will just get worse. You can talk to your mortgage company or your servicer about a repayment plan. You can also do a loan modification. And in Florida, doing a loan modification process, they have to pause the foreclosure until you get the results or the answers, whether the modification is approved or not. You can also do what's called a deed in lieu of a foreclosure. What that is basically giving the house back to the mortgager or the servicer. You can do a short sale, or you can do a bankruptcy Chapter 13. And your last option is, which is always a good option, you can sell the property before the auction date. And that's what I've been doing a lot, is helping clients sell their property, get the equity out so that they can avoid the foreclosure process. Now, these are some sites that I gave you all to download so that we can, kind of do like some live work so that you'll understand the process. Now, Broward has a site, it's called realforeclose.com. And then I also put the clerk of courts because I kind of like work between a couple different screens. Actually, I work between like 3 screens. And then there's the Miami-Dade clerk of courts. You also want to use your IMAP that you have on your MLS. If we have realtors from different states, I'm sure you have some form of an IMAP in your MLS. And then I use the official white pages. I did purchase a membership through there for like 20 bucks, and it gives me the most up-to-date phone numbers to actually contact the homeowners. And then there's another site that I use also, it's called PropStream. PropStream is about $99 a month. Actually, I used to use PropStream. I'm sorry, I don't use it anymore. But it is an option for you to use at $99 a month. So now let's get into it. What I'm going to do is I am going to start in Broward County, and I'm going to open up my Broward screen here. Now, can you guys see the Broward screen? And I'm just going to back out of here altogether.
Yes.
So that you can see how I log on really quick. It went right to it. So I'm just going to go right here to the calendar. So you have the calendar that goes May, June, July, August, September. I think I have October. So we have foreclosures listed all the way out to October 9th. I'm going to go back to the more recent ones. So I try to work about 30 days out. We're May 22nd right now. So I'll be working in the month of June because I mean, I can still help people in the month of May, but we would basically be, trying to have them, possibly file a bankruptcy or some other type of loan. If they could get a loan modification that would stop it, but a bankruptcy will always stop it immediately. Let's take a look at, I'm just for kicks and giggles, let's go to June 25th here. Oh, this is one that I was working on the other day, and I'll walk you through this one. So this is the actual auction date. It's June 25th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Now, you've all set up your account. If you wanted to place a bid on this today, you could click place a bid if you wanted to bid on the property actually yourself. And this is what these accounts are for, basically, so that you can see the foreclosure list and place a bid. And you can actually place a bid before the house actually goes on the auction block. And a lot of people do place pre-bids, but a lot of people wait for the live auction as well, and then they place their bid. So I usually click on, it tells you what type of auction, foreclosure. This is the Broward County case number. The final judgment amount on this house is $325,000. This is the parcel ID, the address, and then the plaintiff, their maximum bid. So I generally click here on the case number, and it takes you to this screen right here. It has some more of the same information, the auction time, pretty much what you saw, the legal description here, but then it goes down and it tells a little bit about who's involved in the case. And this one is Janet Priestley, city of Miramar, Florida. And then these are her attorneys that she's working with. And then these are the plaintiffs. These are the attorneys, and this is the actual bank, USBC Bank, USA National. So now from this screen, as I mentioned before, we're going to go into several different screens. I take the case number, I copy it, oops. And I'm going to go to my Broward County Clerk of Courts screen. And I'm going to switch into that for you guys. So this is the Broward County Clerk of Courts. Are you guys able to see this screen?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. So now we're going to come down and we're going to click case search. I always start with the case search. Sometimes my case number may not work and I'll do the party name, but it's best to do it with the case number. So I know to put in a CAC dash. This is an example of how old this case is. This is from 2018. Because I've been in here already. So this is the case number. This is the year 2018, and then this is the actual file number. I'm going to click. I'm not a robot. It's going to ask you that every time, and then sometimes it'll actually give you the verification screen that you need to work through. Now we're actually in the public records. Here's a case number again, HSBC. This is a homestead property, $250,000. It says disposed. And it says disposed because I actually door knocked her the other day and she's doing a refi. But I'm going to show you all of the information in here anyhow so that you will understand what's in here. Again, it has the case number. It's a civil central courthouse homestead property. It says disposed. This disposed, again, it's been going on since 2018, as you can see, and then it has the judge ID here. This talks about all the parties that are involved. HSBC, these are all of their attorneys. And then here's our defendant. And another defendant is the city of Miramar. I'm not exactly sure what's involved with the city of Miramar. It could be a variety of things. Because I can't really open up the files and get a lot of information, I can't really see all of that, but you can get more information when you're working in Dade County, because they will give you access to the entire file, which is amazing. So on January 24th, this was disposed by the judge. But if it was not disposed and it was still active, you would see right here where it has the final judgment. You can click on this page right here. You can tell that it's 6 pages, but Broward County only gives you 1 page of the document, where Miami-Dade will give you all 6 pages. You can see where it was filed in the court, which division, which judicial branch, the 7th. Here's again HSBC. Here's our plaintiff, our defendant. And then right here to tell you final judgment of the foreclosure and the date that this was, it came before the court, and they issued the date of sale. This right here will tell you how much she actually, the principal and the deferred balance, which is $50,000, and the principal is $204,000. She's actually refinancing the home, but I want to show you a couple other things in this file so that you know what to look. There's a total of 84 different documents in here, which means that there's 84 different entries. The last entry was March 14th, and I'm going to scroll all the way down so that you can see when it first started. The e-summons. They issued one to Janet, City of Miramar. If you're in an HOA, they're going to issue one to you. Your HOA, if you have a spouse, they're going to issue it to the spouse. Right here, you see they have ungood response. Most of the people that I've been working with, I find that they ignore it. They ignore it because they're scared. They don't know what to do. They're embarrassed. They just don't understand the process, and they wait till it gets too late, and then you can't help. Could everybody mute their phones? So this is the value claim form. This actually tells
Sonya, unmute.
This is the value claim form. This actually tells the value of the property. The principal due, deferred principal balance, and then it has the total estimated value on the claim. Now, again, this case has gone back to 2018. They've done things, and I'm just going to skim up here so that we can, look at a couple things. You'll have the filing fee paid by attorneys, summons returned by the defendant. They serve, like I said, everyone that they think lives in the house. This is where the plaintiff answered. So I read some of this stuff, but a lot of it, it's legal terms. I just want to get to the meat and potatoes of what's really going on so that I'll know how to approach the actual homeowner. Notice of a change of address, notice of appearance, motion for time for extension, that was in 2018. Agreed orders. Notice of cancellation. So it was canceled for some reason. Motion to withdraw. I believe this one was when her attorney may have withdrawn. Yeah, so if attorney withdraws for some reason, they have to enter a motion to the court, and you'll find that a lot. Suggestion of bankruptcy. So in 2020, as we mentioned earlier, bankruptcy will stop the sale of your house immediately. So She filed bankruptcy. She probably defaulted on the bankruptcy, and then it went right back to the servicer, and the servicer put it back in motion again. This is where they put a motion to reinstate it. Agreed order, it was agreed. Notice of cancellation again. So it just goes on and on and on. So a lot of it, remember, we had COVID in this case also. So this is why she actually had a little extra time, but you generally, it won't go this long. So proof of publication, I wanted to show you guys the proof of publication, because what happens is when they actually, when they have the notice of sale, this is what it looks like. Notice of sale, final judgment, January 24, 2024. And then down here, you'll actually have the sale date, June 25th, 2024 at 10 a.m. They'll sell it to the highest and the best bidder for cash online. It's a and that's on the site that I showed you that we all registered for, the Broward.real foreclose. So proof of publications, once the notice of sale is issued, they have to put it in all the papers. Old school, right? So they usually issue, this is the company that they had publish it. 14. So this shows you that it was published in Broward, Palm Beach, and Miami-Dade counties. So it actually goes into the newspaper. In Dade County, when you look in their files, you can actually see the actual advertisement for the home being sold. Now, so if I wanted to contact her, I could go a couple different ways. I can go to my IMAP, and usually I go to IMAP first before I even contact them to see if the home is actually for sale. So let me switch screens and go into IMAP and show you guys what I do. Are you seeing my IMAP? Somebody give me a yes. Okay, great, thumbs up. Okay, so I'm just gonna type her address in, which is sorry. I have 3 screens that I work off of, so plus sometimes I have my phone open as well. So 8436 South Hampton Drive, start the search. So all of this information comes up. Here's the foreclosure actually here with the auction date that it was initially filed, same people. I usually just look through here. Sometimes if it's actually listed, it'll have the MLS right here. But since I don't see it here, I'll go actually over to the MLS and I'll search for the address just to make sure it's not listed. I can tell you this one is not listed, but I do check to make sure it's not on the MLS because I don't want to, go to them and they already have the property listed. And then if right here, so like this phone number, when I'm looking for contact phone numbers, they have this phone number here. This one does not work for her. It's probably an old phone number. So then what I'll do is I have a subscription to White Pages. I'm a little slow here, I'm sorry. So I have a premium subscription, and what I'll do is I'll put in her name. She lives in Miramar, Florida, and I'll hit search. So this is her actually right here, Miramar, Florida. She's 73 years old. I've met her already, and I can verify this information. And it gives you places that she used to live and then people that may be associated with her as well. I only have the subscription for the phone number, so I hit phone. It gives you her date of birth, cell phone numbers, email address. It verifies the address for me that this is the correct home that I'm looking for. It was last sold in 2002. And then I'll go down a little bit further. Oh, it gives all of her previous addresses, New Jersey, New York. And then it has this number again, and it has the two landline numbers. This one actually right here is a cell phone number, and I believe that's the one that actually is for her. So from that point, then I'll go in and I'll start talking to the client and trying to resolve the issue. Basically, I'm asking them, what are they doing with the foreclosure? Are they keeping the home? Are they doing a loan modification? You know, where are they at in the process? Generally, we got 30 days or less, and I try to stress that if they're going to keep their home, let's find a way to keep your home. If you're not interested in keeping the home, I want to see how much equity that they actually have in the home and map out a solution for that particular client. If there's enough equity in the home where we can go out and purchase another home, that's what we do. But keep in mind, you got to have a conversation and you have to be compassionate because so many people are knocking at their doors. They don't know who to trust. That is the biggest problem. They don't know who to trust because all of the investors are knocking on their door. They're offering cash for keys. They're telling them they can give them, $80,000, and basically they're giving them money and they take over, and they actually, let me see, they can pay them, say, let's do $100,000, and they may owe $200,000 on the house. So they will go in, flip the house, and then sell it and pay off the mortgage, and then the profit is theirs. And that's basically what they're doing. And they've just given the seller little or nothing. So I'm going to flip over to Dade County for you guys so that you guys can see Dade County, because I think Dade County gives you a better insight. And then I'm going to show you a couple other things on the Dade County site. I really like the Dade County site because it gives you so much information. Do you see the Miami-Dade site? Someone give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, Tanya. So again, we're going to click calendars. We're already in the calendar, actually. So Miami-Dade will give you tax deeds and foreclosures. So these are foreclosures that have occurred already. I'm just going, today is the 22nd. It may be updated, so let's just click on here and take a look. So this one right here, 14199 Southwest 9th Street in Miami for $207,000. It was canceled for the bankers. Now this one was sold for a third party person, that mean like it could be us or an investor. They bid on it and they want it for $100,000. This property right here, 2055 Southwest 122nd. And it says I did not win this because I do have an account. I didn't even do a bid, so I haven't bidded on anything. So this one is canceled per order. Chances are 1011 Northwest 177th in Miami Gardens, they did a loan modification. Cancel per order, cancel per order, cancel for bankruptcy. So these are the terms you'll see: cancel per bankruptcy, cancel per order, and third-party bidder. Those are the three that you'll generally see. So let's go back to the calendar. And let's go to the 28th, which is next week. So this always is, I'm always having these conversations with Marshall, and I'm like, this is scary because this is one of 3 pages, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, 20 or 30 people on here that have not taken any action, and their house is scheduled to be auctioned next week, May 28th. All of these people. Now, some of them have taken action. This particular one right here, 3010 Northwest 174, it was canceled for bankruptcy. This one right here was probably canceled for, they probably did a loan modification, canceled for bankruptcy. These people have taken action, which immediately stops the sale of their home. But up here, these people have not done anything. And not to say that they can't, sometimes the order will come in late and it may be the day before or sometimes the morning of. I had a situation where we lost out on the morning of, but for instance, this one right here is from 2021. And I just kind of like want to go in and show you how Dade County will give you all of the documents that you really can sift through them and take a look and get the information. So 2021 foreclosure, final judgment amount is $82,000. The assessed value is $200,000. These are the parties that are involved in this case, I'm sorry. Wayne and Paulette White, Willard White, Paul White, Dodge Enterprises, Miami-Dade County. So they list all of the defendants, anybody that they think is associated with that address. And then, of course, they have the mortgage company and then their lender. So let's go over to the Dade County Clerk of Courts so that you can see that information there. Tanya, can you see my screen? Thank you. So again, I'm going to copy this case number. And I am going to look by case. Now I knew that one was 2021, so I'm going to click on 2021. The sequence number are the 4 to 5 numbers in the middle, which is 016. Class code is a circuit civil, and then 01 is your other code. And I hit I'm not a robot. This one has a total of 119 documents in here. Again, this, you can tell right here that this is a homestead case, so this is the foreclosure. So this actually has the sale date here, mortgage foreclosure sale hearing. Plaintiff actually motioned to cancel the sale on the 22nd. Proof of publication. Remember I was telling you how you can see it in the actual newspaper? So here are the actual ads here on the side. Notice of the judicial sale by the clerk. And they just list it. And they list it by the legal description. You won't actually have the address over here. It's the legal description. So lot 23 Lakeside, that's your legal description. So let's go back down a little bit further. I'm going to show you a couple things in here. Again, this has been going on. They probably had so many delays due to COVID, because this is still during the COVID time, 2021. Let's see. Motion of a default. So you see how all those people that I had named, so this is probably an estate, because you have beneficiaries here, they have the deceased person here. Dodge Enterprises, sounds like a car company. And again, all of the people that are affiliated with it. They list everyone that is involved in this. So you can actually see the documents in this file, which I like about the Miami-Dade ones, because it gives you more information in one sheet versus Broward. Let's see. Miami-Dade must have answered here. So Miami-Dade answered to the complaint. So you, again, it's important that you answer, well, not you, but the client answers. They don't answer, again, it just makes it more difficult trying to. Motion of a default in 2022. The plaintiff put an entry in for default. And the documents just go on and on. I usually start from the top, like I said, because those are the more current ones, and we want to see what's going on with the more current ones. The proof of publications, the proof of sale, that's April 29th. That's when the actual order was issued. So their order looks a little bit different from Broward, but it pretty much has the same information. This is a one-pager right here, though, that is basically saying that it's going to be sold next week at 9 a.m. And again, it doesn't give the address, it gives the legal description of the property. Well, actually, it is right here, but it actually usually gives the legal. I won't see this address in Broward. And order resetting, the foreclosure. So for some reason, the foreclosure was put on hold, and then they reactivated. Plaintiff motion is hereby granted, so that's when they got the sale date of May 28th. And guys, that is pretty much what I do. It's a lot of back and forth, verifying information, getting the phone numbers, seeing if they are actually, if it's a live case. If it's not, when I say it's a live case, meaning that it's still active, or if it's been disposed. I know I got a bunch of questions, so Look in this chat and see. Okay. Whew. Okay. Peoplesearch.com is another place. Okay, thanks, Terrence. You mentioned that you door knocked this one earlier. Do you do that? So yes, Amber, if I can't get them on the phone, I'll go door knock. Yeah, definitely I'll go door knock and keep my location on. You have a reference sheet or script? So no, I don't have a script, but when I use RedX, there's a script in RedX. I can click on the bottom of it and it'll give me a script. But again, it's all about filling them out, Tanya. You know, they may want to talk to you. I get hung up on a lot. They'll say it's handled, click, you know. Um, Sometimes they talk to you. Again, if you're very compassionate with them, and tell them that you're here to help them, they will start talking to you. You have a site like this for Georgia. Sharice, which site are you referring to? You can unmute. It's a county site search. County. Okay, thank you, Terrence. Angelique, great information. So if they do want to keep their home. So Tanya, if they want to keep their home, we can see if there's a loss mitigation, a loan modification. We take them through the loss mitigation, which means getting a loan modification. If they're eligible and they qualify for a loan modification, then they'll go through that process. If they're not and they still want to keep their house, we can do the bankruptcy 13, meaning that they have to hire an attorney, pay the bankruptcy fee. The bankruptcy 13 is a reorganization. 7 is a total liquidation. So 13, they're going to take everything you own, the house, the car, the credit cards, and everything, and they're going to put it in one file and then make one payment to the courts, the bankruptcy courts. And if they decide that they don't want to do bankruptcy, again, the final thing is they can do is actually sell the house. But that is the last option to keep in your house is the bankruptcy if you've tried everything else. Do you reach out if they have an attorney? So yeah, I still reach out if they have an attorney. And you know why, Silenese, is because sometimes they're working with attorneys from the other side, which is their servicer. And they get information. I think the one that Marcella and I was talking to was Freedom Mortgage. And Freedom Mortgage, they had one of the ladies that I was working with, they had a payment that was ridiculous. She knew she couldn't make it, that payment. I knew she couldn't make it. And actually, she was able to get her ex-husband to sign back off on that loan with her, but she still called me and she still wants to sell her house. So I'm going to be selling her house. We're going to be meeting up soon to sell it. But yeah, you can still talk to them if they have an attorney. The house that I sold in Vizcaya, I was working with the attorney at the with the servicer. And once we had the listing agreement, I sent them the listing agreement. I was taking them through the process. We're doing an open house. Once we got a contract, gave them the contract, and then immediately that attorney will take that information to the court to get immediate extension. You usually get about 45 to 60 days if you are in this position where you can sell it and you do get a contract. We need to do RedX. Not necessarily. No, you don't have to have RedX. I like I said, Amber, I do use the white pages. I always start with IMAP, and sometimes the phone numbers are on there because when you register, when you first get your house, you put all your information in there and it's updated. You usually update your information through the property appraisers, and that ends up coming up on the IMAP on the tax roll. Mute. What's that? Claudia, can you unmute everyone, or can I? What do you say on your initial phone calls? So, I introduce myself as a real estate professional, and I also, tell them that I am on the board for the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, and we are about democracy and housing, and I am here to assist you with saving your home. And if that's something that you want to do, but I start off nice and calm. A lot of times, I've talked to people and they tell me, you've been the nicest person I've spoken to. The first thing they come out and say is, you're going to lose your house, then you're going to be out on the streets. Some of these investors are really aggressive and they have no compassion for the sellers. What are the pros and cons of bankruptcy? So with bankruptcy, there's a lot of so the pros are you can keep your house. The the cons are you're going to have a bankruptcy, chapter 13, which is going to be on your credit probably for 7 to 10 years. And that's where you say it affects other things negatively. So they pull all of your creditors and everything has to go into that bankruptcy, from my understanding. VA has. Right. So a lot of the people, I was reading up on an article, Tanya, about this. After May 31st, the modification program that was in place, it expires. So you will probably have a lot of VA loans that will probably be going into foreclosure as well. Remember the money board? Yes. If you are upside down and need to do a short sale, you can do a short sale, but the bank has to accept it. So it's up to the mortgager or the servicer if they want to accept the short sale. But short sale is always an option as well. It's kind of hard for me to make a call and you guys to hear. And I generally don't like to call them late. I like to call before 6 or 7 o'clock if I'm calling. How do you stay on? Reach out. So again, you have to find the best approach that works for you. Again, I usually go in with compassion, that I'm here to help you, not to, take your house. That usually is the end result where we have to sell it, but you have to be very compassionate and remember that so many people are reaching out to them in a negatively and very aggressive way. And that's why it's very overwhelming to them. I'm actually working, guys, with a 24-year-old girl. Her mother died a couple years ago. She's a correctional officer, and the mom left her the townhouse. They did probate and everything, but she's just falling behind on the payments. The payments are too high for her to handle in the first place. So I actually called her. None of the numbers worked. I knew the community. I went and knocked on the door. She wasn't there, but she had the ring. So she was talking through me through the ring while she was at work. Actually gave me her phone number. We chit-chatted about her situation. And she has over $200,000 of equity in the house, but she understands that she cannot afford that house. She probably makes $30,000 a year, so she can't afford it. So what we're going to do is we finally got the appointment set for Saturday. She's coming with, I'm going to meet her and her godmother, and we're going to list the home. And she's going to take that equity and buy a 1-1 or 2-2 condo cash where she can just afford the taxes, insurance, and the HOA. So that will be coming to the market soon. Compensated in the foreclosure. So how are we compensated? That's if we list the property. That's how we're compensated. Other than that, there's no compensation. Mention this while up there now. Yes, Amber, you're correct. The bank can dictate how much they pay in commission. Actually, yes, I do see a lot with third party. So this is why I wanted you guys to set up your account, because you can actually bid. You can put money into account and bid on a property.
And you have what? Isn't it like 30 days or is it 24 hours to come up with the final amount?
48, I believe it is.
48.
Mhm.
Enough time to get a hard money loan.
Right. Molly, you want to tell us about your foreclosure that you're working on?
Well, this is how I came into this game with foreclosures. I actually work side by side. My good friend's husband, he served foreclosures for the county of Broward, and I used to ride around with him on the computer. He taught me how to look up everything, like how you looking in the white pages. I used to have to do all that work. We done rolled up on a lot of houses, a lot of strange situations. That's why foreclosures are not for everybody. You're
Right.
gonna roll up. A lot of people, they crazy. They're already getting, and in Miami, this is Shark Central. So I was rolling with the sharks that we didn't deal with. I didn't deal with it from a realtor angle. I dealt with it from a cash and quick claim deed angle, like real aggressive, real shark-like, and really not really helping the people, helping them, but still kind of, it wasn't, I didn't really like it. I seen some odd situations, you know what I'm saying? Because people in distress sometimes just need money. As soon as you pull out that cash, they're willing to lose in order to gain that cash on hand right away. So I like it from the realtor perspective of the way we're doing it here. And that's kind of how I'm approaching. This is my first time dealing with it from a realtor perspective, where it's like, all right, I just spent hours looking through all the dockets because I got
Yeah.
coached by an attorney that he specializes in going through court dockets. So I know how to get in the system. I can read through all them court dockets, and I could never believe them. They always lying. They're never right about the amount they owe. Look
Right.
at all the pockets. Look at all the tax stuff. I just looked at all of her taxes. She ain't paid last year's taxes, but her tax deed is not sold. It's still
Right.
available. It didn't even go up for sale. I looked at everything. There's another person. It's a balloon loan. It's a mess. It's like she got hustled by somebody she let around her. The house was paid for. He convinced her to go take a $50,000 balloon loan on a paid for house that she defaulted on in 2 years, and he done ran off with the money and left her with the property. But she's a much older woman, so I feel bad for her. And she came to me through a good friend of mine who I've been friends with for like 20 years, that she knows personally. If you have somebody that knows that person personally, you in the door in a lot better way. See, when you door knocking and you finding them on the internet, that's a whole different ball game than somebody that knows them personally. Somebody knows them. That's an easier game to play. That's why I feel like all them advances she's already getting a bunch of offers, bunch of stuff in the mail. What you're teaching us right now, this is where I came in learning it. I used to do this for the guy that served the foreclosures and the attorney that had the money and the investors. Because I have a friend of mine, he has a 10 million line of credit just for real estate.
Mhm.
And so he used to be like, Molly, just find me the properties and send me the information, and we'll do the rest. So this is kind of what I knew how to do. Now dealing with it from a realtor perspective is a much, we're able to really help them, because not only can we help them avoid a foreclosure on their credit, we can help them get some money to move and find them a new property. So I feel better in my heart with this route than I did with the quick claim and cash route, because we didn't have properties where I didn't win in the house. I'll never forget it, because that's what made me realize I don't want to work with y'all no more. Because there was a big, huge family in foreclosure in this beautiful home. I think it was Miramar or something. And they were from out of the country, but they owned the home and they were in foreclosure bad. They went in there, offered them some money, did a quick claim deed, and they took over the property, but they let them continue to live in the property and pay the payment. But see, now they own it. And they take on the lien and the bills, and they let them keep paying rent. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Right.
kind of angles I've seen as a realtor. If you getting good with them and you're not dealing with, because a lot of these people are either crazy or they inherited it from somebody that they can't afford it or they don't want it. There's all types of weird situations. I can see some
You know
weird
what?
stuff.
I appreciate your feedback, because you just, again, we run into some of the strangest things, and I share a lot of these stories on our morning huddle, and I share them with Marshall, because I'll call her and say, I can't make this stuff up. What's
Yeah,
going
not
on?
for everybody.
The stories are
You
crazy, and
drive
it's
by.
and one of the things that you just validated was, sometimes I spend hours, I'm sitting down here 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, looking through files, just trying to get answer and figure things out and figure what's the best approach to people, or if it's even worth me, going after.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of them out here. What you can do also is go to your iMap and pull all the less pendings, and you can go through the less pendings and start calling, verifying if they've done a modification, or if they're actually in the foreclosure. Are they up for sale? For some reason, a lot of the sale dates don't appear under the foreclosure. I don't know why. If that's just a glitch in the system, but you will get it on the clerk of courts. Tanya, go ahead.
I'm just trying to understand Molly's situation with this client that she's dealing with. She said that the house was paid off, but she took out a balloon loan of 50,000. Why would she be going into foreclosure for that small amount? I'm confused.
Because she can't pay it back, and the person ran off with the money. So now
So,
she has a lien against her house.
And
So that's
50,000
why
will
she's
turn
in
into
foreclosure.
100,000 real fast when you're dealing with the balloon loans.
okay. So the interest kept adding up. Is that what it is?
So with a balloon loan, they may tell you, okay, you have 24 months. It's $50,000. They may say you have 24 months to pay this $50,000 back. You may start off with a smaller payment, maybe the first year, and then it balloons and it's all due. So that's probably
Okay.
how she went into foreclosure.
Attorney
Okay.
fees, autumn legal fees. I was going to ask you, so if you have a property that you want to sell that's already got a foreclosure sale date, what are some things you could do to postpone the sale out like 30 days? Like what is something that you would do to
So if they want to stay, if they don't want to stay in the house,
if they want to sell it, but you just want a little bit more time
so get a contract.
with okay. Yeah,
Get a contract on the house.
yeah. No, I'm doing the listing contract tomorrow.
You have to have it listed first.
Yeah.
You can get it listed, get a contract. You can even take the listing agreement to the courts and say, hey, we have it on the market. I don't think they're going to go for that. They want an actual contract that has a sale date, that it's going to close.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's it right there. So if you already have somebody buying it, that's key. Yeah, you
So
got to
I
be.
did one recently in Vizcaya where it worked out perfectly. It was a perfect scenario where I listed it. We called the servicer. We told the servicer we were listing it. She said, just keep me updated. called back. Once I did the open house, we had a contract. She took the contract and immediately sent it over to the court. We waited for about, I think it was 24, 48 hours before the court gave us a date that we had to appear. I mean, I'm not legally, I can't really do anything, but I was on the Zoom with my client because she didn't understand any of the stuff that was going on. And I was trying to, basically coaching her through it. But once we gave them the contract, they gave us 45 days.
Okay, see, that's what I wanted to hear.
Yes, they gave you 45 days. So our contract was closing in less than 30. So they just want to make sure. And then I gave them the proof of funds so they want to make sure that it's a valid contract and that it's going to close.
I like that. Yeah, see that right there helps me. Because I had to go to the broker, because this is like my first file. I haven't closed no deals as a realtor yet. So this would be like my first one.
So Tara, you had a question. You said, don't the owner have to go get approval from the mortgage company prior to listing it? No, they don't. Because they still technically own the property. So if they can get it listed and sold, that's the best option. Guys, you got to remember, these banks don't want your house. This is why it takes so long in Florida, because you have so many options. They do not want your house. It's more work for them when it comes back as an REO. Claudine can, talk about REOs because she's dealt with a lot of REOs. You have to have a fund where, the bank has to, if they have a pool, they got to put a tarp on it. They have to call I think they call it winterizing it. It's so much stuff that you have to do once it goes back to the bank, and it costs them money. They got to pay the HOA, the water bill. They got to keep the lawn mowed. So it's so many things that they have to do. They got to pay the taxes. So, and keep some insurance on the property. So it costs them more money, and depending on how long it stays on the market as well.
And do you have to, because I was looking up this form, I couldn't find it in SkySlope, but if do you need to get them to sign like a pre-authorization form so that you can communicate with the attorney filing stuff on the case, or
So I have not done that, but what I've done is my client has always been, they always make the call and initiate the call, and they have me on like a three-way and say my realtor is on the phone with me. Really, technically, they're not supposed to be speaking with me because I'm not part of the file. So they're not supposed to be speaking with me. And I'm just usually telling them what to say.
I don't believe none of them. That's all I know. They never tell you the truth. Pull all the information from the dockets. That's key.
Exactly. So that's why I said I like Miami-Dade, because Jeff said you can use a third-party authorization. Okay, great. Again, guys, I'm still learning this.
If Jeff can send me where I can find that kind of contract, because I couldn't find one in SkySlope. Because I wanted to include that in the.
So that third-party authorization probably comes from this actual servicer.
So what contracts do you include in your files when you're getting ready to sell a foreclosure?
What do you mean, what contracts? This the listing agreement?
That's what I got like 3 that they told me I needed, because I went to the Florida broker today and asked them. Girl, I was feeling so proud of myself for my little file in there, got my little contracts ready. But there's 3 contracts I had to put in there. The exclusive listing agreement, the
Hey Molly, can we talk offline and I can guide you offline? We have a couple more questions.
Yes.
Okay. Terrence, you want to unmute?
Sonya.
Okay.
I just wanted to say thank you for the information. This is like right on time. We're at a crucial part of the market where like you have to figure out like how are you going to stay afloat, and this is a area of business that gives you listings, right? So listings is kind of like the name of the game, and so just wanted to thank you for all the information that you provided today.
Thank you. I mean, I know I was all over the place a little bit and we kept getting dropped, but I'm still, finding my way through this, and I'm learning stuff every day. So every day is something new that I learn.
I'm actually one of those started off as one of those investors that call these people, so have a lot of experience dealing with the different avatars, as I'll describe them, the client base. And you really hit on some things. But if there was any takeaway that I would say is the compassionate part. You should definitely like go deep on that. And when I say go deep on it, I mean really have your team and your resources together to help that seller examine and research all options, right? So like the loan modification, I would say like if you're building a packet, it may be good for you to have your budgeting calendar, right? Because when you go and talk to the bank, they want to know that there's some type of hardship that that person came into as to a reason why they can't pay their bills. So definitely make sure that you can really speak to all the different options they have. There's a lot of nonprofits out there too that help in this regard. So if you can just come to the table with all of the solutions, when those solutions don't work out, not because we don't want them to, but because they just can't, that seller is more likely to choose you to work with them because you've actually tried to give them a solution that they wanted, which was to stay in the house. So great job today, and I
hit on
really
something that
appreciate
you
it.
just talked about. When you talk about solutions, so there's a lot of housing counseling agencies out here. So all of these fees that the attorneys are charging them, they can avoid all of those fees by going to a housing counseling agency, and the housing counseling agency will help them and work them through the process of the loan modifications. So Tanya.
Yes, I want to say thank you again, Sonia, for all this information. I'm not new to this, not new to real estate, but definitely learning a lot. And I love how you presented everything. It was very clear, very concise, straight to the point, very easy to understand. You did a phenomenal job. I know you said it takes you hours to go through the dockets. If you ever just want to meet up at a coffee shop or I come to you, I'll help you go through it. I want to learn the process, so I don't mind going through it and you can tell me what to look for. So yeah, I'm open to helping you whenever you need help. But thank you again for your time and your knowledge.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? Gina, go ahead. Go ahead and unmute.
Hi, great evening. Not a question, just a comment. You did such a great job, and I've been wanting to follow you in the courts and stuff about this, and you explained it perfectly. So thank you so much for your time and presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. Any additional questions? Nothing? No?
Hi,
And guys, also
Sonia.
just go ahead, Yolanda.
Hi. Hi, how are you? Quick question. Can you go back over the bankruptcy, the chapter 7 versus I think you said chapter 13?
So chapter 7 is total liquidation. That means that they wipe everything out. So with a house, you can't do that. So the goal is with the chapter 13 is reorganization. So we want to reorganize everything so that you can keep your house, keep your car. You know, they work with your credit card companies. It's almost like a credit counseling type situation. So they, different things may happen. I can't really speak on exactly what happens throughout the process, but I do know that with the chapter 13, it's a reorganization.
Okay, thank you. Great class, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And guys, also, if you're really, really serious about this, there is the 5-star show that's coming up in September 24th through 26th in Dallas, Texas at the Omni Hotel. And all of the asset managers will be there, and any and everything you want to learn about foreclosures, the systems that they use. I'm going, so because I want to get more information. And I want to be a subject matter expert on this so that I can bring you guys more information. But I just wanted to put that out there as well. Yeah, any additional questions?
Sonya, do you mind if I shamelessly plug Express Offers as a solution here?
What is Express Offers?
It's our proprietary platform for EXP agents that allows them to get cash offers for property. So I just wanted to shamelessly plug that because this value prop in terms of speed, convenience, and control is exactly what fits this avatar, someone who's going through this type of situation. So I'm actually the manager of the platform, and so if you guys have any questions about it, I'd be happy to help.
Righty.
Can he plug his phone number or something in the chat?
Drop it in the chat.
Workplace. Terrence
Workplace.
Clark from Workplace.
Oh, look for him on Workplace.
Where's his name?
Terrence Clark.
Terrence Clark. Okay.
Gina, did you have another question? Guys, it's 8:22. I know we've gone over our time and I want to respect your evenings. If we don't have any additional questions, I'm going to swing it back over to Claudienne. Do you have any final statements?
Sonya,
I have
can
a
you
question.
drop that information in the Telegram group about the Texas, what you just said about that trip? Yeah, can you drop that information?
Sure. Someone said they have an additional question.
Yes, I wanted to know, like, do you have any people that work and mentor in North Carolina? Because I'm actually in North Carolina. I didn't
don't.
realize it was Florida.
Well, you know what?
I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, Terrence is in North Carolina.
Oh, great. So I can get help there then. Okay, Terrence.
But I will say this, it's pretty much the same process, probably from state to state, but you just must remember if you're in a state that's judicial or non-judicial. That's one of the important things that you got to remember.
Okay, thank you. It was very helpful.
You're welcome. Claudienne or Jeff, you any final words? Oh, okay.
Hey, Sonya, you can go ahead and close us out.
Okay, great. So guys, again, I appreciate you taking the time out to join me. It is 8:24, and as we say on our morning huddles, love, peace, and real estate.
Thank you, Sonya.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sonya. I followed you on Workspace.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I got another.
Thank you, Sonya.
Bye-bye.